The Genshin Impact's version 7.0 special program just dropped a week ago, and I have a lot of opinions for it. I sat through the entire thing live on stream, so if you want to watch it, the VOD is posted in the live section of my channel. My thoughts on it is pretty all over the place. They showed off some clean-looking 3D model upgrades for the newer characters. We got an absolute cinematic orchestra that probably changed some lives out there because of how good it was. But in that very same update livestream, they gave us 0 meaningful quality of life updates, and the most confusing region I have ever seen in my life, the cruel and brutal Snezhnaya, turned out to be some Candyland rainbow sprinkled ice cream kind of area. What is even going on? There is a lot to unpack here, from really appealing characters to the devs blatantly rage baiting us, so let's break down the good, the goofy, and everything in between from the 7.0 live stream. If you want to see more content from me, feel free to smash the like button and subscribe. Hit the notification bell icon to keep up with my videos. Without wasting any more of your time, let's get right into it. Right at the beginning of the live stream, they showed off the trailer first. It was super quick, but my eyes caught it. A white-haired man, a very handsome one in my opinion, with way better hair than in-game 𝗖𝗆𝗆𝗵𝗁𝗵. Someone apparently named 𝗖cie. During the live stream, I spontaneously called him handsome, but right after the live stream ended, it turned out I wasn't the only one who felt that way. This character was so beautiful that he ended up trending on Twitter. A few posts that trended were, "He looks like a wizard," which is especially unique because I don't think we have had a Genshin character who looked like a wizard before. We have witches, but not wizard. This is kinda the best male model ever made. You know, if 𝗖𝗆𝗆𝗵𝗁 born in 2026, he is gonna have this kind of hair model, and I have to agree. And I'm looking at the other newer models, and I just feel like I gotta give them praise. For a really long time, Genshin has suffered greatly from this thing called the same face syndrome. It got bad. But recently in 𝗏𝗏𝗏, and especially now in Snezhnaya, that syndrome is basically completely gone. We obviously have to mention 𝗵𝗁𝗆. They made a whole new model specifically for him, which genuinely surprised me. Genshin has always had this issue where the 2D art looks incredible, but the moment they put out the 3D model, it looks terrible by comparison. But now, I can safely say the 3D models look pretty good. 𝗖𝗍𝗍 especially looks amazing. And I've criticized Genshin about this in the past. In fact, a lot of people did. The same face syndrome was basically a meme in the Genshin community, and the overall gacha space in general, clowning on how everyone has the same exact face in the game. People would layer character faces over each other, and looking at it, I legit have to agree. They all look identical. But recently, starting from 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, and especially now in Snezhnaya, I don't think that criticism applies anymore. And honestly, good for them. I love it. Yes, it took them 5 to 6 years to finally improve their models. I know a lot of you are probably already typing that in the comment section. We all know it sucks, but hey, take what you can get, right? Or at least that's what I would say if they actually updated the older models. I'm happy, but not that happy, because older models suck.
But 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, why would they do that? You're asking for way too much. Leave my multi-billion-dollar revenue nuclear reactor owning company alone.
Just stop, bruh. To answer your question though, the first major reason is that it looks so unbelievably goofy. The Golden Goofy Award goes to Genshin Impact for their insanely outdated character models. And you don't have to believe me, just look at it yourself. The punching bag for this segment is Childe, Tartaglia, Ajax, my first love, my husband, our husband? No, my husband, whatever you want to call him. Anyways, we are gonna talk about his 3D model and how it literally looks prehistoric compared to everyone else. Like during that moment where they showed Sandrone and then Arlecchino and then they showed Childe. What is this guy even doing? He looks so out of place. He looks like he just got 𝗖𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗏𝗏 from an entirely different game with inferior graphics. And I'm not even here to hate. I'm being dead ass. There's also that scene where they show Recreator side by side with Tartaglia. And I mean, just look at it. Childe looks like a Roblox character next to Recreator. It's not even close. It is sad because they don't even try. Childe has been coming back in the story constantly, probably more than almost anyone else in the game. He was introduced in 𝗖𝗍𝗍𝗏𝗏𝗏, reappearing briefly in Inazuma, and then popped up again in Fontaine. Sure, you can argue that back then, all the models were still pretty bad, bad, so he kind of blended in and it wasn't too noticeable. But then he came back in Not Cry, which is fairly recent, but he was still surrounded by NPCs who have looked the exact same way for years. So even recently, most people wouldn't notice the quality downgrade when he was on screen. In the Snezhnaya story arc livestream though, it's undeniable. They are putting him side by side with newer characters in an environment where everyone else looks better. He is literally an isekai character. Not even the canonically isekai character, the Traveler, looks that outdated. The Traveler got skins in Luna 4, and there are multiple videos out there showing how they have improved their models. Meanwhile, Child still has that stock character model from 6 years ago, standing right next to everyone else in the big leagues. Holy shit, he looks so bad in comparison. In the trailers, he looks just as good at everyone else because it's 2D, but in game, he looks horrible. Please put in some effort, Hoyoverse. It couldn't be that hard. They literally made an aura effect for him, but they couldn't upgrade his model. They coded an entirely new visual effects for him without giving him updated textures or anything. That is straight up rage bait, bro. They have to be rage baiting right now. But bad character models aside, let's talk about one of the good ones. And it's one of the characters coming next patch, Odette. She has this whole ballerina aesthetic, and the moments I saw her, I genuinely liked her design. She is elegant in every way possible, so much so that she wears heels when she fights. Wait, what? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty immersion breaking. She looks amazing, don't get me wrong, but like, who actually does that? You know what I'm saying? What? I have seen the debates online with people arguing, why is she doing ballet and heels? Followed with replies like, well, it'll look awkward if she wore point shoes when she is just roaming around the world and not dancing. The best part is when people pull out the "trust me, I'm a ballet dancer" card. Like, oh my god, this guy is valid. But I have legitimately yet to see anyone make the actual criticism I'm about to make. And it's starting to infuriate me. There is no way nobody thought of this. People are defending the devs, acting like it'd be awkward if Odette wore point shoes while she's not dancing. But listen, you are replying to a completely different issue. Have you ever seen anyone pirouette in high heels? Is that a normal thing? They even added a mini game for her idol animation where you get to endlessly pirouette in heels. Like, hello? Nobody is arguing that Odette should walk around in the open world in point shoes. Who even made that argument? I'm completely fine with Odette walking around the world in heels. Like, yay, Sister Soleil, she looks amazing. But I'm just asking, was it really impossible to swap her heels into point shoes when she actually dances, when she is in combat? Is that too hard to code? It's not like I'm asking for too much here either. I'm asking for change. I'm begging for crumbs. This is the least you could do. Why? Because this has been implemented in the game before. Look at a character like Gaming. When he ults, he has a flaming hoodie, a whole new outfit for him. Skirk has 2 different fucking outfits and multiple weapon animations. Mid-combat outfit changes in Genshin are not a new thing. They can change the music to combat music, but they can't make Odette change shoes. I'm not gonna lie, I'm disappointed. Realistically, most people probably don't care, but I expect the game that has very deep lore would at least care about some surface level understanding of the character they are creating. But maybe Odette is just a goat at ballet, you know? They can make up some lore about it. Oh, why is she pirouetting in heels? They're gonna make up some lore about it. She's a prodigy or something, who knows? And then they're gonna be like, oh, Glaive, it's lore reasons. I can't wait for that to happen. On to the next one. The Traveler gets a new cryo element, and they are able to deploy the setup needed for Stellar Conduct. Pretty exciting. And before this, Stellar Conduct was exclusive to Sandrone, but now it's officially free-to-play friendly. You no longer need Sandrone for Stellar Conduct. You can just use the Traveler. Will they actually be useful in the endgame? I'm genuinely hopeful. We will need to wait until the theory crafting comes out, but I'm pretty optimistic. Other than that, we are also getting a free weapon, and thank God, it is actually custom made for the Traveler. It works with every single element they resonate with. It's a pretty good stat stick, like a crit substats. Very amazing. And the best part yet, it looks great on the Traveler. They finally upgraded from the dull blade. About fucking time, am I right? This would have been amazing if we got it early on in the game, because I remember back when I used Electro Traveler for energy funneling. Man, those were the simpler times. It got me reminiscing for a bit there, but I'm very happy about this weapon. It also opens up the possibility of the Traveler being able to wield all elements dynamically in game at once. Canonically, they can do that, right? But in actual gameplay, we couldn't do that. Maybe there's a chance we finally get that feature after Snezhnaya. That would be awesome, you know? I'll touch on this in a separate video because I see a lot of potential here, and I'm not gonna lie, it's got me pretty excited. You can max it out just by going through the story and resonating with the statues of the Seven throughout the new region, which is awesome. Hopefully though, it's not locked behind collecting the Oculuses for Snezhnaya. It probably is, but hopefully not, right? Now, to address the elephants in the room, the guns. Specifically, the whole gunplay game mode they are adding next patch. I am genuinely not sure what they were thinking adding this game mode. It's like, let's make the game even more convoluted with features that 99% of the player base won't touch after a few updates. And I'm not even hating. Again, I'm not hating. Look at things like the Serenity Pots, Genshin TCG, or Meliastra Wonderland. Yeah, that game mode is already dead. I saw on Twitter, and not even 𝗖ție𝗽𝗆𝗵𝗁 could defend that game mode. And this gun mode is going to be the next one. At first glance, my first impression as an FPS player myself, immortal in Valorant, by the way, I know, I'm a loser.
Ew, you're stinky. Why? Why are you stinky?
I could immediately tell the insanely heavy aim assist on the gunplay. They called it verbatim micro aim assist and target snapping. But just looking at the gameplay, it legitimately snaps onto the next target like an aimbot. This won't even be a challenging type of game. It looks extremely dumbed down, even when played on the phone. And yes, I play mobile FPS games too. This is going to be the most handheld game mode ever. The funny thing is, or maybe this isn't funny to some of you, is that these devs are genuinely taking this gun mode completely seriously. There are elemental reactions built into the shooter game, and there are 3 different types of firearms to choose from. And apparently, they're also planning to add more to this later on. So they really want you to play this every patch at least once. I mean, I'm not necessarily complaining. I mean, it's more things to do is still things to do, am I right? And if it's FPS, fuck it, why not? Send it over here. Give me the Primo Gems. This, however, proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that Genshin is more than capable of coding complex mechanics. I don't want to hear anyone defending this game anymore from criticism of bad character models or the lack of quality of life updates, or rather lack thereof. Why? Because there are more than capable of coding the things that we want. They just actively choose not to. The artifact loadout system that seriously needs a rework, the skip button that is not really skipping anything, put the fries in the bag, bro, okay? Which also brings me to the next section, quality of life, or lack thereof. Because yes, you heard it right, there is 0 quality of life updates in 7.0. And I'm not saying Genshin never changes, because it obviously has, but sometimes it just flat out won't. It won't change for whatever stubborn reason. And I find this really surprising. Back in the live stream where they introduced Natlan in 5.0, even though it showed off a total Disneyland aesthetic for the region of war, they delivered hella good quality of life updates, like the epitomized path reduction, specialty tracking, world level 9, all absolute bangers. Same thing happened in Not Cry. We got the substat preview, which is an ultra banger, and even if the rest was kinda mid, it was still very welcome. And you're telling me for Snezhnaya, we are getting nothing? You're saying this big massive updates has 0 quality of life improvements. Did you think the game was just perfect now? No room for improvements at all.
all. Not even fixing calendar-gated domains. You still think that's a good thing? Epitomized path points. Still not carrying over to the next banner. And as for the skip button, you might need to rework that in the future patches because what you gave us is not the thing we have been asking for years. Genuinely, do these devs just not play their own game? Oh wait, hold on. My bad. I think it's misinformation. There are quality of life updates in Snezhnaya. Look at this. The maximum number of map pins has been updated to 350. Yay! All right. Who asked for this? Who wanted this? Are we being serious? But anyways, we talked about the elephants in the room. Let's talk about the mammoth in the room. Snezhnaya, a land of extreme cold, a technologically advanced nation ruled by the Cryo Archon, the 𝗖cie𝗽𝗆𝗵𝗁, the main headquarters for the ultimate big bads of the game, the 𝗖cie𝗽𝗆𝗵𝗁, a group that has had a hand in almost every bad thing that has happened in this story so far, known for a philosophy where the ends justify the means, where even when lives are taken away, the price is always worth it for a chance to rebel against the divine. The entirety of Genshin has been hyping this place up for years as a cold, ruthless environment, both physically and mentally. And although we get to see the cold with tons of snow and blizzards and experience freezing mechanics in the game, I just don't get that menacing atmosphere at all. It's just not there. Because imagine my reaction when, verbatim, on stream, they said the theme is the fusion of a winter fairy tale and cold heavy industry, a waltz of romance and brutality. That sounds epic as fuck. So tell me why, literally one frame after saying that, while giving us the tour, the very first place they show us is a village of igloos decorated with super cute monsters and ice cream cones. What the fuck is brutal about this? Where is the brutality you just spoke of? In fact, there isn't a single ounce of brutality in this entire live stream. Maybe a tiny bit at the beginning for the trailer, but that was literally a few seconds out of an entire hour. Where is the dark atmosphere? It just feels like Natlan all over again. And I know there are a lot of Natlan defenders lining up to say, yeah, it's the nation of war, but the war is already over. Yes, I get it. There are a lot of lore reasons why the nation of Disneyland is the way that it is. But for Snezhnaya, what the fuck is the excuse for all of this? Don't tell me there are lore reasons for this too. It's too immersion breaking. Honestly, it's immersion destroying. There is a trailer shown in the live stream summarizing the things that we could do in the new region, where the music is so upbeat and the mini games are all about rolling snowballs, cooking and petting cute monsters, and making cute statues. It's literally, let's have a happy fun time in Snezhnaya. Yippee! If Natlan was Disneyland, Snezhnaya is like Universal Studios. The 7.0 version events, the doll makeovers, driving the train, looking around, collecting Jack Frost goodies, like Qiqi getting a fucking ice cream claymore. Like, it feels more like a Golden Apple Archipelago summer event than a dark, high-stakes Snezhnaya expansion. I am just so utterly confused. It's not even funny. The absolute best of the whole live stream, though, came near the end. It was so good that I was about to redeem the entire live stream, where they showed the orchestra. I was completely blown away, man. I have literally no other words to describe it. It was fantastic. It felt like I was levitating. It was so good that if you asked me to choose between listening to the Genshin Impact Orchestra or having sex, I'm choosing to listen to the orchestra performance again. I'm not even joking. It was that good. But the fact that it was so good, it is also why it made me so mad. Because why? Why? It feels like these guys are composing for an entirely different game. And I'm not saying they should compose for other games. I'm saying that this current version of Genshin does not resemble that kind of music. The lyrics have actual lore in them, emotionally showing how it's stumping and marching towards its goal. Glory to 𝗖cie𝗽𝗆𝗵𝗁. And I'm so mad because it feels like this soundtrack is what Genshin should have been. Instead, we got fucking Disneyland with snowman, igloos, and cute monsters. Where the fuck did that Genshin go? At the end of the day, my feelings for version 7.0 is the definition of unfiltered
unfiltered confusion. On one hand, we are getting good-looking new models, a banger free signature weapon for the main character, and an orchestra performance that genuinely gave me goosebumps. But on the other hand, Tartaglia is still out here looking like an absolute meme. We are getting a baby version FPS game nobody asked for, and Snezhnaya feels like a carnival than the cold, ruthless nation of the Fatui we were promised. Hoyoverse clearly has the skill and the budget, they just make the most baffling decisions with it. But I want to hear more from you guys. What are your thoughts on 7.0? Are you hyped for the new characters, or are you as disappointed as I am with the lack of quality of life and the happy fun time Snezhnaya vibe? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. This is 𝗖cie𝗽𝗆𝗵𝗁, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers!